we going to discuss here? We are going to discuss time and work because it is one of the most easiest topics in the CAT syllabus or any other syllabus for that while in SSC, bank exams or something else, right? So why are we doing this? We are trying to ascertain, okay, how percentages, fractions and LCM are used in while solving the questions of this topic. Now let's move to this first question. A and B can do a certain work in 20 and 30 days. So we would be applying the percentage method, but before that we need two rules to be kept in mind. So what are these two rules? The two rules are that always add efficiencies, always add or subtract efficiencies, and never add or subtract number of days. So with these two rules, let us apply, okay, so that those coming to the maths domain after a few days, after a very long period, would be facilitated, right? Okay, now 20 and 30 days, how can we do this? Now we are applying the percentage method. So what are we doing here? We would be taking the total work as 100%, right? So what would be A's efficiency? That is, how much work would A do in one day, right? A's efficiency would be 100% and he did the work in 20 days. So this would be in 20 days, right? In 20 days, remember I am writing 20 in the denominator because I have used in here. So what am I doing here? 5% work per day in one day, right? So 5% upon 1, this would have been cancelled out, right? This would have been cancelled out as 5. Now B's efficiency, how much would be the B's efficiency? B's efficiency would be 100% upon 30. That is, this would cross out, and 10 upon 3% per day. Now since we have written that we have to add these, we can say that 5% per day and 10 upon 3% per day, okay, this is the amount of work they do in one day, right? When they both do the work together in one day, right? So we have to multiply this by the number of days they take to get the 100% amount of work. This is where it becomes difficult. Why is it becoming difficult? Because 10 upon 3% is right, 10 upon 3% is right, 10 upon 3% is difficult to calculate. It is not difficult, I mean it is easy, but it is quite cumbersome, right? It is quite lengthy to do that. Now how to solve this problem? Let us move to the next slide. So the second method would be to reach to the fractional part, right? Okay, it was not the LCA method, it would be the fractional method. So just a second, yeah, fine. So this would be the fractional method, right? Okay, so what are we doing in the fractional method? Yeah, what would we be doing in the fractional method or fraction based method? So what are we doing in the fraction based method? We are just taking these values and we are taking the total work done as 1. Total work done, which we had taken as 100%, we are taking this as 1. Okay, now A's efficiency, hence, as we did in the last slide, would be one work would be done in 20 days. So we are doing 1 upon 20 work per day. How did we reach to this number? Okay, for example, if we are doing one work in 20 days, 20 days is equals to one work right? In one day we would be reaching, by cross multiplying, okay, in one day we would be reaching 1 upon 20 of the work, that is work per day. Okay, this is the thing we defined as efficiency, right? Work done in 1 day, right? Okay, fine. So yeah, in 20 days, in 1 day, right? In 1 day we are doing this amount of work. So this is all for this efficiency. Okay, we would just move to the topic now. So we have found out A's efficiency. Now B's efficiency would be 1 upon 30 work per day, right? Or 1 upon 30 units per day. You can write it units, right? Okay. So total amount of work could have been anything, but we have taken it 1. Now how would we reach to the final answer? Now let us take A plus B's time as t, right? A plus B's time as t, right? Okay, time or number of days taken as t. So how would we reach to the answer? 1 upon t would be the efficiency of A plus B. I have written the total efficiency, and it would be found by efficiencies of A and B individually. So 1 upon 20 plus 1 upon 30. Now how to solve this? We have to take the LCM of 20 and 30. How to take the LCM? We can write a number that is there in the tables of both the numbers, or we could have taken it. I would take 2 examples here for taking the LCMs. Okay, fine. Now first example would be 20 into 30. So we could have written the same number that is being multiplied here, right? Okay, 2 into 10 and 3 into 10. Okay, now you could have written this in prime numbers also, but I have seen, I was aware that 10 comes in both the numbers, so I have written this as 10. So this 10 would be taken as one entity, and I would multiply the other entities which are not common. Fine. So this would be 2 into 3 is equals to 60 would be the LCM of 20 and 30. The second method, I would take another number here, right? If I'm taking 4 into 6 and 4 into 3. Now this LCM, the LCM would not be possible in this. I would have to write this in a different way. How would I write this? 12 into 2 and 12 into 1. Now since I see this, right, I would find the LCM as 12 into 2 into 1, that is 12 into 2 as 24, right? Okay, now the third example of this sort would be, let us take this 6 into 8 into 7. Now since we see that 8 into 6 and 8 into 7 are there, we would take 8 as the common, and there is no common number between these two. These are co-prime numbers. So what are we doing? 8 into 6 into 7 would be the full LCM of this number. We do not need to reach to the final answer. Now coming to this, the original question, right? I would just put this apart. Now what are we doing here? 60, right? We have found the denominator as 60. Now what do we need to do to make this first denominator as 60? I would have to multiply this by 3, and I would have to multiply this by 2. Now 3 plus 2 would come here, right? Why did I do that? Because I couldn't have because this should lead to, this 3 should cancel out, and this should lead to 1 upon 20 again. The original number should always, when we backtrack, the original number should always be there. Now we have 5 upon 60, and we can cancel this out. I would get 12 here, so 1 upon 12. Now the total time taken would be 12 days, right? The total time taken would be 12 days. Fine. I hope the fraction method is clear. Now how would I do? How would I do it with LCM? Is there any method which can reduce my time, which is really important in CAT preparation? So 20 and 30, let us do the same question with while taking the total work, right? Here the total work done by A and B would be LCM of 20 and 30. So what are we doing here? The LCM of 20 and 30 would be 60 units. Remember, I am taking it as units here, right? For example, I was taking 1 unit or 100% of the work earlier in the percentage as well as the fractional method. So why are we taking 60 units here? For example, if I'm taking it as one work might be for example, me and my friend are having a competition of eating 60 chocolates. So we have a work of doing 60 chocolates, or I might need to make a wall of bricks of 60 bricks, right? I would have to lay 60 bricks. So what are we doing here? 60 bricks, right? Okay, so I am taking 60 units of work. Remember, units are there in this time kind of work. So let us move ahead. How would we solve this? So we have seen that we have to add the efficiencies. So first let us find the A's efficiency. So how much would be the A's efficiency? Total work, and he had done the total work in 20 days, right? Now this is 3 units of work he does per day, right? In one day he does 3 units of work. Now B's efficiency would be 60 upon 30. Now per day of work would be done in 2 units per day. Okay, B does 2 units work in one day. Now to find the total work, we would have to okay, see that if in one day they do this amount of work, in how many days they would do 60 units of work. So we would have to add this 3 plus 2, right? Total number of days taken. Okay, total number of days taken. 60 upon 3 plus 2, that is 60 upon 5 would be 12 days, right? We didn't do anything. We have just started the procedure from here, right? Started the procedure from here. We needed to take 60 here. We have already taken 60 as the work, total work, and then we just divided the efficiency in both the cases. So that is all for this video. We have taken 3 methods. We would do in next few videos, we would do certain type of questions, and we would see how to approach this method in those questions. They would be the questions that have been repeated in SNAP, SSB, Bank PO, and other exams also. So we would eventually increase the level to the CAT level. Fine. I hope you like the video. Please like and subscribe, and reach out to us if you have any problem.